Okay, so I guess we should start. So the first presentation is the end of the previous track we had yesterday, and it's going to be about Tizen and a Wayland-powered operating system. And the presentation is by Manuel Bachmann.
Hi. Thank you. Well, I'm here to give a little talk about Tizen in a way which relates to Wayland, and more precisely of what we are expecting of Wayland in our profiles. Because, as you may know, Tizen is an operating system based on Linux kernel, which targets mobile device, embedded device, and we are trying to switch to Wayland. First, okay, this is, I work in the open source team of the Eurogicel company. We used to maintain the Tizen code base together with other teams for some years now. We also have competencies in multimedia, Mavacast, WebKit integration, and so on. The company is based in Rennes, in Brittany, France. Personally, I'm working in Vannes. The core team for Tizen Eurogicel is based in Vannes. It's a very nice place, near the sea. We are 5 minutes away from the sea, so if you want to come, it's a very nice place to be. So, who am I? Well, before I worked for Eurogicel, I used to maintain the Windows packages for GTK plus 3 for a little time. I don't do this anymore, so it's my history. Then I had to write, my first task as a Wayland integrator was to write a wrapper because programs used to expect GLX, but Wayland has EGL, so I wrote a little wrapper. It was my first task for Wayland, and then I progressively became the maintainer of Weston in Tizen. I used to do integration in EFL. I have some patches in EFL, in Weston, Ozone Wayland, which is the Wayland backend for Chromium, etc. So currently, if there is a Wayland or Weston problem in the bugs of Tizen, you're likely to reach me. So I've divided this talk between 3 parts. First, the build system, to be very quick, short. We have different profiles for display system, X11 on Wayland, and we separate the builds. So I will explain why and how. The most interesting part is the second one. We are looking for improvements in the shells of Wayland. You have XDG shell, which is work in progress. You have IVI shell for vehicles, embedded vehicles. You have a Tizen API for web application, and we try to integrate those things. And we are looking forward to have new software, a new stack for multi-user and security, because we are concerned about security and shifting security. I will explain that further. So, first, a very short part on the build system and how we build Tizen with Wayland or X11. Well, we are using an OBS with GBS, and we pull the source from Git repositories. There's also a work-in-progress project for integrating with Yocto, because Yocto is very powerful in the embedded market. But it's not here yet. We provide binaries for x86, AMD 64-bit, and ARM. And what's specific in Tizen, you have several images, and you have X11 images apart from Wayland images. So in Wayland images, you don't have X11. So you don't have, for example, X-Wayland, because you want to push Wayland forward. The X11 build is some sort of legacy because you have some applications which depend on X11 in a case. So in X11, we used to have Xorg, and the reference window manager is Enlightenment, which you may know from the EFL project. Currently, in the Wayland build, we are using Weston because it's the compositor of reference which works. And you have some applications, like Tizen Launcher is a little launcher application, like a stat menu for applications. And we share some packages, most likely the web application framework between those two profiles. So currently, our web framework is based on Crosswalk, which is itself based on Chromium. And in the Git repositories and the OBS, we use build flags like build this with X, so EFL with X or with Wayland. And the binaries are kept separate. Here you can see we build from Git. We have some release managers which validate the pull requests and submit. And at the end, we produce RPMs which we provide in X11 or separate Wayland repositories. At the end, there are two main profiles in Tizen. 3 if I count mobile, and 4 if I count Tizen for watches and so on, which is named Tizen Wearable. But the most interesting ones, which I'm going to talk with Wayland, are Common and IVI. If some of you, a few people don't know IVI, it's for in-vehicle infotainment. So it's a profile which intends to provide a Tizen Wayland system for vehicles. We have partners in the GenIVI consortium. So Common has a Weston which has some patches because we try to be ahead and to fix bugs because we have specific things in the shell. I'll explain that a bit later. The web framework, EFL, and Qt apps. IVI has Weston too, but is more concentrated on embedded, and so it ships with either the web framework on the Modelo home screen or IVI shell on the ICO home screen. So I will just show you, because I think it's good to show things. Basically, when I'm talking about Tizen Common, how does it look like? So this is Tizen Common. You have the Tizen launchers and web applications. Here, an EFL application, the calculator. Here you have Chromium with Crosswalk, which works on Wayland. And you have some Qt applications. So we are basically integrating Chromium, Crosswalk, EFL, and Qt. Sorry. So this is common. It's intended to be a base for other Tizen systems because the real ones, interesting ones, are, for example, IVI. IVI is for a car. So in IVI, it's some sort of home screen with applications for AC, climatization, radio, dialer, and so on. Here, geolocation. Here, the phone system. That's Modelo. And we also have, I'm sorry for the poor quality, but the only way which we were able to try to visualize it was to use a camera. The ACO shell, which is based on IVI shell. Currently, we ship IVI with these two application frameworks. So that's how we are using Wayland. So what do we expect of Wayland in Tizen? Because it's not finished yet. We ship releases, it works well, but we expect some things. Good. The interesting topic for us is currently the shell and how it relates to application, because you may know Tizen has HTML5, but we also have Tizen APIs, and we intend to implement them. And Wayland has some drawbacks compared to X11 currently. For example, in Wayland, you have the Tizen application hide, which should hide a widget, a web application, and application launch, which should show, or in window management terms, raise the surface. What we want to be able to do in Wayland with Tizen is, for example, here we have a web application which will launch another one, hide itself, it's hidden, and another application which will come to the first layer of the screen. Basically, we want to be able to switch apps. In Modelo, for example, if you take the case of Modelo, I will just let the video go. Modelo is based on several applications. You can see at the top there is air conditioning, music, phone. Each time the user clicks on a widget, he should launch an application, or if it's already launched, raise it to the first layer of the screen. So basically, we want to hide, lower, and raise surface in Wayland. Here, we will type a phone number, switch to the geolocation app, switch back to the phone, and so on. So we lower and raise surfaces. And Wayland has not this feature in the current shell. So currently, Wayland has an integrated shell system which name is WL shell. It's some interface, some protocol which allows you to say, I want this surface to be full screen. I want this surface to be maximized. So it takes the whole screen, but you still have your decorations. I want this surface to be parent for another one. But it's very limited. And for example, for Tizen application hide, we don't have what we want in Wayland shell. So we used to push the code and implementation in Weston for XDG surface set minimized. Why XDG? XDG is an alternative shell for Wayland, which is work in progress, unstable. Each Weston release has some tweaks in XDG, which makes the protocol break, so you have to follow. But it tends to have more use case and to target the desktop, and in some cases, embedded systems too. For example, with XDG set minimized, you hide your surface. So that does the job for Tizen application hide. On the other hand, when you want to raise a surface with application launch your application, you have to have a way to raise the surface. So there was some debate in Wayland, in the Wayland mailing list, because I push a patch. People say you don't have to. It's not possible to have a protocol which allows the surface to raise every time, because you will have some application which will try some malware, which try to always be full screen on the first layer. So what I proposed at the end was to have some interaction with the user. And I set a demo implementation of the XDG surface present call. So what is present? It's a bit like raise or unminimize, but with some interaction. I just show. So here it's Western, and I will launch a little demo which will hide itself and show its surface. So I have here a demo surface, hide it, and raise it again. And the idea is the surface will not always raise itself, but in some case may create a little tooltip at the top of the Western panel, which will ask the user to interact, to allow the surface to raise. Here you see the second surface. The user has to click on the button to raise it. It's the same thing than in well-known desktop environments. You have the icon in the taskbar which blinks to tell you, I want to be shown, but you have to interact with me, because it allows you to. It's a security problem, in fact. Well, present is not in Western 1.1.6, but we expect to have it in 1.7. I'm doing some work to improve the code and maybe have better heuristics to determine if you should show the tooltip or not. So I show you the little videos with Modelo and the application which hide and raise themselves. So that's the idea of the implementation. The thing is that on Tizen, we don't want to have a tooltip because we don't have a taskbar. In Tizen, we want the application to always raise. So what we need is a way to tell Western, OK, in the general case, show an icon, but on Tizen, only show the surface directly. There's also another shell, which name is IVI shell. It's a shell which intends to be upstream. The author is Nobuhiko Tanibata, which pushes patches for Western since the 1.5 release. We don't develop code directly for IVI shell, but we provide a Western Git repository with the patch applied. So the Wayland reviewers can test the patches, test the code, and let us know what they think. Currently, we don't know when it will be upstream, but we also expect it for Western 1.7. It's a shell which has what's needed for the ICU home screen, which I showed you in the first video of IVI. So it provides more APIs than XDG shell. You can lower a surface, show it, change its opacity, change its Z order on the layers. You can do lots more things with IVI shell than with XDG shell, because in the vehicle, you want to be complete. The surface should only show themselves if they are trusted. The problem is, if an application doesn't implement IVI shell, it won't show on IVI shell because it has to have the protocol. So if you take, for example, Chromium or a standard application, you won't see anything. So we asked if it was possible to have some compatibility with XDG, so you can have your standard application run. So here is a little demo for that. Here you have IVI shell. And it's a specific shell which has some sort of surface feature. And what I will show you now is XDG applications which will be able to show themselves in IVI shell. So here, the application discovers that there is IVI, but no, there is XDG. Because this version of IVI shell now provides an XDG shell interface. And here I will show some window which does the same thing. So it is currently being integrated. The idea being that you can develop applications for Wayland XDG and have it show an IVI shell. So in Tizen, we have basically 2 or 3 frameworks depending on how you count things. We have the core framework is Crosswalk with Chromium. Chromium has a backend which name is Ozone Wayland, which is basically a Wayland interface for Chromium. So we integrated the code for XDG shell and IVI shell in Ozone Wayland. So if you currently launch the latest builds of Chromium with Ozone Wayland on IVI, it will work. If you launch Chromium on Weston with XDG currently, it works. Same thing with EFL, because we have some EFL applications. So XDG and IVI are pushed and integrated upstream. For Qt, we have XDG shell. I tried to make IVI shell upstream too, but the review didn't pass for the moment. I need to make it a plugin, I think. The Qt people don't want me to integrate IVI shell directly in Qt, but to have it as a plugin. Philippe Koval, my coworker Philippe Koval, did the integration for XDG shell. So here is a little demo which shows XDG shell in action with some frameworks. At the left, EFL, we will minimize the calculator. It goes away. It's a Qt application, QMLCN, which will hide itself too. And the bubble wrap thing is a Chromium application on Crosswalk. So it will hide itself too. So if you currently install Tizen with Wayland, XDG shell is activated by default, and it's activated by default in the toolkits and frameworks too. Well, we have also extensions for the Tizen API to map these calls in the frameworks. So if you call hide with an EFL application, it will hide the application. With a Crosswalk application, it will hide it with XDG, and so on. There are 2 things which are currently being studied in Tizen. 2 fields, security and multi-user. Historically, in Tizen, we have a single user system where all apps are installed for a single user. That was in Tizen 2. But in Tizen 3, we want to have a system where applications can be dispatched among users and shown, for example, if you have a vehicle, a car, in Tizen IVI, you may have a car with a screen for the driver, a screen for the passenger, and 2 screens behind. And you want to be able to say, if I launch an application for the user which is behind, I want its surface, its application surface, to show itself on the good screen, on the screen behind. The idea is the Tizen API which associates a screen with a user and allow the shell to put the surface on the good screen. to do that, in IVHL, you have the notion of a display output. And you can say, OK, let's show this surface full screen on such a screen. There's no such API in Wayland Shell or XDG Shell, but we need it. We are thinking of some ways to make it work on Tizen Common and IVI at the same time, because we need it in common to demonstrate the feature. So we may use IVHL, or we may try to add some ELIS support to XDG Shell, because XDG Shell allows that for a full screen surface, but not for windows or individual maximized surfaces. Concerning the seeds issue, in Western, you have some UDEV implementation which will allow to have a pointer, a keyboard, or a touch screen associated with one screen specifically. So, for example, the user cannot take its mouse or use its keyboard or its touch screen to go outside, to react outside of its output. It's currently static. Western reads western.ini, UDEV rules, and associates the seeds. But we want it to be more dynamic. So we may try to add some plugin to have a detection system. Like you add a mouse, the application framework say, OK, let's associate this mouse to the second screen, and Western will know this mouse shouldn't go outside of the second screen. For that, I have a very crappy video, because it was taken before the last LinuxCon. It's basically me on a station with two screens, two mouses, keyboards, and I demonstrate the fact that, oh, I also have some sound here, I didn't know. I turn on the sound. So with the first mouse, you are prisoner of your first screen, and with the second mouse, prisoner of your second screen. We want to generalize this approach and to have an API in Tizen to force this behavior. So there is the shell integration part with the APIs and the frameworks. There is the multi-seat, multi-user problem. And there is also an issue which was discussed yesterday, which is security. Well, when you have a mobile phone or an IVI system where you have a store, because sometimes, okay, some IVI systems will be locked. You won't be able to install random application in your car because it may be harmful. But some constructors, integrators may want to have applications for an IVI system. So you can have new applications to play video and so on, to have games in your system. And when you install such an application, we have to validate, we have to tell the user on the integrator which privilege it requires. Like, for example, these applications want to be able to go full screen, like Modelo. The Modelo screen which I showed you before was full screen. This application will be able to take screenshots, but screenshots are bad because if you have your account card number on the screen, it can be stolen. So we used to have in Tizen a framework which name was Privacy Manager for that, but it was single user. It's been replaced with Cynara. Cynara is multi-user. And Cynara hasn't, for now, the UI part. It doesn't show pop-ups. It doesn't interact with Western, but it will want at some point. So the idea was to tell Cynara which privilege an app requires and to allow, for example, full screen, screenshots, and so on. Basically, it's how ICO works. In ICO, you cannot go full screen if you are not certified. But we would like to have a standard implementation for that. Yesterday, there was a talk about the Wayland security module. It would be good to try to integrate the security module and to write some policies. Like, for example, on Weston, standard Weston, in Tizen Command, for example, have standard policies. Don't show the application every time. Don't go full screen if the user doesn't agree with it. But in IVI, okay, let's agree, but only if the security framework Sayonara has been used before to validate the privilege. So this is the kind of things we are looking forward. We have pop-up notifications in Tizen since sometimes it uses a little notification display daemon. I will just show you. It's a very little implementation. It doesn't do lots of things, but it sort of works. Well, it's basically just when you have, for example, a Bluetooth phone which tries to pair with you, or you are connected to a new network, to a new wireless network, you will have a little pop-up which shows. The idea being that these kinds of pop-up should be generalized to application, security, and so on. And on NVI, it should be maybe full screen, and so on. So we have to think how we integrate all that. So I will be looking forward, like for the screenshot problem. Weston has a screenshot interface, but it's not trusted. Developers say we shouldn't use it in new applications. So maybe try to use it, but have some security and policy to restrict its use. Like if the user says yes to an application to take screenshots, it will be able to, but not in the other case. So I will be trying that in the next weeks. Thank you very much, because as I told you, all the topics which are in Tizen, which are the shells, XDG shell, IVI shell. I told you about the security, the multiple outputs problem, what we try to do with Wayland, what is not in Wayland, and we cannot provide a system without some features, and how we try to have them. I have some links for the code I showed you in the slides, which I will share with you at the end of the talk. And thank you very much. And if you have questions for me, don't hesitate to ask. Yes?
I want to use Tizen-based IVI. What car should I buy?
That's a good question, because it's not shipped, because it's not ready, and it's expected, because we're trying to do a release. There is a new release of Tizen, which name is 14.3. It's expected to land very soon, but you have to fix. We are currently fixing all use cases of the Modelo home screen, which you saw, and the ICO home screen to release. And you have the patches and so on. So currently there is no car, because you won't be able to have your custom Tizen image in a car, but the vendor integrator will have that. And we are part of the GNAVI consortium, so it will be very likely you will have that. Every member of the consortium may want to have a Tizen IVI car.
Thank you.
So if I understand correctly, a lot of frameworks and also some of the compositors will implement both XDG shell and IV shell. I hate to burst your bubble, but that sounds like a really bad idea to me. That sounds like we're reinventing something called window manager hints, where we have the original standard window manager hints, and then the Motive window manager hints, and then the freedesktop.org window manager hints, and the KDE specific window manager hints, and
atoms. It's good.
and everyone tries to sort of implement them all, and it's a mess. We really should not be doing this. We really should, at least for something, I can completely understand that the Qt guys say, no, we don't want Ivy shell hint support in our standard Qt build. We should just have one standard to do this kind of stuff and have it just work, and not have multiple competing standards and reinvent the window manager hints.
Well,
So just to add a little bit to that, I think what we could see in this presentation is that there are completely different use cases for different systems. So via the Plasma, we'll probably never get on an Ivy shell. So we don't care about the use cases you guys have for the Ivy shell. So like positioning a window on a specific screen, that's something we will probably never support, because that is our job as the window manager to say that window goes there, and not the window should tell us that. So from that point of view, I think it makes sense to have multiple shells which are focused on a specific use case.
yeah. Well,
Yes, but that also means that I'm in favor of multiple shells. Actually, if you look at the whole problem you presented with being able to raise windows, you shouldn't do that way. If you have like this panel with the buttons on the top, and then you have multiple applications which are running as separate processes, make one app draw all the buttons and make it a nested compositor. And then it can automatically raise every app it is managing. That should be a nested compositor. You don't need a raise for that. That really needs to be a nested compositor. And so there are more things you were doing where I have pretty serious questions about how you're doing them, especially
But
if you're
the ways-
pushing them into generic frameworks. Those things are really domain specific, and they don't belong in generic frameworks.
the Waze issue, in fact, is asked not only for IVI but also for desktops. But please ask a question.
Yeah, I just want to say that I completely agree with that. Especially the presenter, what you showed there, is something I see very skeptical, and I think we have to be very careful when we add things like that to the XDG shell, because I will focus on security when implementing it. And if I see something in the XDG shell which looks like it could tamper with security, I will not implement it in Quinn. And then I will deliberately break the cross-platform thing.
Okay. I may have some answers for that. Well, the Waze issue is the first one, which was out in the mailing list. I think it's not a very specific use case because it's a request for by desktops too. Because if you take KDE, GNOME, I don't know about KDE personally, but I know that GNOME wants to have that. If you look at the mailing list, you have some mails from Jasper St. Pierre and Matthias Claesen, which say that in some case you have you are in your text editor, you switch back to another applications, and you launch a very easy application like a web page, and you switch to another thing. By the time the web navigator pops up, it won't need to be in front, but you may want to have a little hint that now the window exists, and you may want to have it on the first, and you click on the tooltip and it shows. It's basically what exists currently in GNOME, for example. So it's a use case which I think personally, and I'm not alone, which is valid for desktops. So I think the present request, which may be something other, has to be in XDG, but to be secure. The implementation shouldn't raise the window every time. It should be very well tested, and I think it's valid, but it has to be secure. So that's what I'm trying to do. It shouldn't raise every time. On the other hand, I totally agree for the IVI case with the put me on a screen. I agree. And I understand what the Qt guys told me. They told me, okay, it's a specific shell for vehicles. It's not a very well known and supported use case. So you should build not it, you shouldn't have it in the source code, in the main source code, but in a plugin. And that I can understand totally. I said, okay, I will try to do that, but due to personal plannings and schedules, I wasn't able to finish. And I totally agree that such an IVI shell shouldn't be default. It should be a plugin. Maybe for Weston, for another compositor, if one day we have EFL, the anatomical compositor, we may want to have an IVI plugin for the compositor, but it shouldn't be the main case. I totally agree with that. I just trying to add things in a way that everybody is okay with that. And if the XDG, when I talked about the XDG compatibility, it was only to make sure that on an IVI system, a standard desktop application should be able to show itself. Not maybe raise or go to a screen, but show itself. It was only some kind of wrapper layer for that.
So one quick comment for Martin and Hans. So with the XDG present request, the basic idea there is to have some sort of a way that the window can say, I have new content, the user probably wants to see me. So that could be if you have some background task running, let's say you're copying some files and the background task suddenly is paused and it needs the user's interaction, then you can request and the icon will blink or something and then the user can get it back. So that was the idea. There's not a bring to the top.
So it kind of demands attention. So maybe call it like that.
Yes, it was a suggestion. You had activate.
Well, that's how it's called in X, or in the NetWM specification, demands attention. And in the old X protocol, in the core protocol, it's urgency.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So there's now a 15 minutes break. Oh, maybe more actually. I think we start again at 10:30.